My beloved child, listen to me in the deepest place of your heart. For what I am teaching you is not only how to look at people, nor merely how to discern who is sincere and who only passes through your life with gentle words. I am leading you into a holier maturity, the ability to recognize me amid the mixed voices of the world. There are sounds that seem very soothing, yet carry no life. There are promises that stir your heart, yet do not bring you closer to the light. There are presences that make you think you are being comforted, yet quietly pull you away from peace. Therefore, I do not want you to live only by the feeling of a moment. I want you to learn the difference between what merely moves your heart and what truly comes from me. As it is written, your ears shall hear a word behind you, saying, "This is the way. Walk in it." Isaiah 30:21. I still speak to you not through forceful noise, but through a gentle voice, strong enough to keep you from losing your way. My child, I know your heart is tender. I know that many times you have opened yourself with the hope that others would understand, cherish, and respond to the sincerity you offered. I do not blame you for loving deeply, nor do I rebuke you for believing with all your purity. A heart that knows how to love is not weakness. It is a garden I have placed within you, where seeds of kindness, hope, and mercy can grow. But beloved, a precious garden must have a holy fence. Not so that you become cold, closed off, or suspicious of everyone, but so that the beauty within you will not be trampled by feet that don't know how to honor it. That is why my word still stands alive. Keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it spring the issues of life. Proverbs 4:23. If this message has touched your heart, consider sowing a seed today. Your generous donation helps spread God's wisdom and protection to many souls. As you give, may the Lord bless you and guard your family from every hidden danger. I am not telling you to shut the door of your heart. I am teaching you who may enter, who should remain outside, and what must first be brought before me, before you give your trust completely. There will be times when it hurts to realize that something is not what you once believed it to be. There may be someone you thought was a safe place, yet I allow the light to shine upon them, and you begin to see the emptiness within their words. There may be a connection you once treasured, but when I place my hand upon it, you begin to recognize that it is not leading you into life, but slowly draining your soul little by little. Do not call that awakening a loss, for often what I remove from your hands is the very thing that has been silently chaining you. Do not call the breaking of an illusion a failure, because when the veil falls, you are finally free to see with eyes that have been anointed. As the Lord has said, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. John 8:32. Truth may pierce your heart at first, but it doesn't come to destroy you. It comes to rescue you from what disguises itself as love, yet does not carry the nature of love. Remember Samuel when he was still a child in the temple. That night he heard a voice calling his name, but at first he did not recognize it as the voice of God. He ran to Eli thinking the voice had come from a man. But after several times, he was taught to answer, "Speak, for your servant hears." 1 Samuel 3:10. Do you see, beloved? Even one who was called from childhood still had to learn how to distinguish the voice of heaven from the voice of man. I do not condemn you for the times you have been mistaken. I am patiently training you. There are seasons when I allow you to hear many different voices, not to confuse you, but to mature you in discernment. The closer you remain to me, the clearer my voice will become. The more familiar you become with my presence, the less able counterfeit voices will be to deceive your soul, no matter how sweet they may sound. Therefore, do not be afraid of the process through which I am leading you. I do not place you among trials to watch you stumble. I place you within holy lessons to lift you beyond your former immaturity. You are no longer the one who must chase after every fluctuation within your heart. You no longer have to believe every emotion that rises within you as though it were the final voice of truth. Emotions may tell you what is moving inside, but only I can show you the path you must take. There are times when your heart wants to hold on, yet I say, let go. There are times when fear tells you to close yourself off, yet I invite you to step forward. There are times when loneliness makes you want to accept an impure connection, yet the Holy Spirit whispers that you are worthy of being preserved for something better. For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind. 2 Timothy 1:7. That soundness of mind is the grace that helps you love without becoming blind, trust without losing discernment, and open your heart while still standing in the light. I want you to understand this with your whole soul. Clarity does not make the love within you smaller. It makes that love purer. When you allow me to guard your heart, you do not become hardened in the way of the world. You become steady in gentleness, tender without being easily pulled away, kind without abandoning yourself. True love does not require you to be blind in order to prove your loyalty. True love does not force you to remain silent before what makes your soul uneasy. True love will have my peace as its witness, uprightness as its foundation, and enough light that you don't have to live in confusion. As it is written, the wisdom that is from above is first pure, then peaceable, gentle, willing to yield, full of mercy. James 3:17. What comes from me does not merely move your emotions, it also makes you purer, more peaceful, and nearer to me. So when I open your eyes to see clearly a person, a circumstance, or a bond, receive it as mercy, not as punishment. I love you too much to let you be led away by appearances. I guard you too deeply to let you keep entrusting your soul to places that don't know how to preserve it. I don't want you to live in suspicion, but neither do I want you to live in unguarded innocence. There is a holy balance I am teaching you. A heart open to what is good, yet closed to deception. Mercy always ready to forgive, yet wisdom knowing how to set boundaries. Faith still pure, yet no longer enchanted by what is empty. Stay close to me, my beloved child. Bring every emotion, every relationship, every decision, and every inner calling before my presence. Do not rush to give an answer simply because your heart is stirred. Do not rush to step in simply because a door has opened. Not every open door is opened by me, and not every delay is a refusal. There are times when I hold you back because there is still something ahead that you cannot yet see. There are times when I slow you down so you will not enter a place that would wound you. There are times when I allow something to be exposed, not so that you become bitter, but so that you may be protected before it is too late. The Lord shall preserve you from all evil. He shall preserve your soul. Psalm 121:7. I do not only keep your body from danger, I also keep your heart from invisible chains. And now, walk in peace. Not the peace of one who understands everything, but the peace of one who knows they are being led. I am with you in every new realization, every act of letting go, every moment when you choose to listen to my voice instead of the voice of fear or passing desire. You will no longer be blinded by darkness as before, because the light I am placing within you will grow clearer and clearer. You will no longer be held back by falsehood, because my truth is raising you to stand. You will love more deeply, yet also more wisely. You will trust more beautifully, yet also more firmly. You will open your heart to what I give, but you will no longer trade your peace in order to hold on to what I have not chosen. Remember, beloved, I do not take away what truly belongs to you. I only separate you from what hinders you from receiving the better portion. And as you walk with me, my voice will become a lamp beneath your feet, a light upon your path, and a gentle refuge for the heart that has learned to love in holy wisdom. My beloved child, there are seasons when I do not only teach you how to walk, but also teach you how to hear rightly. For not every voice that touches your heart comes from me, and not everything that moves you is a sign for you to pursue it. There are sounds that come very quickly, awakening your emotions with great intensity, making you think that they are life. But if you listen more deeply, you will realize that they do not bring stability. They do not lead you into peace, and they do not make your soul pure. My voice is different. Beloved, my voice may not always be loud. It may not always overwhelm you in the first moment. But my voice lays a foundation within you. My voice does not merely stir your heart. My voice causes you to stand firm after the emotions have settled. As I have spoken, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. John 27. Therefore, what I desire in you is not a hurried reaction to every attraction, but a life that knows how to pause, how to discern, how to recognize what is the voice of the shepherd and what is only an echo in the wilderness. My child, I know you have a sensitive heart, a soul that knows how to respond to gentleness, a spirit that does not want to miss the things that appear beautiful, but precisely because your heart is precious, I will not allow it to be pulled away by every hand that reaches toward it. I do not want you to become cold, suspicious, or closed off. I want you to become discerning. Discernment does not kill love, beloved, but purifies love from blindness. Wisdom does not cause you to lose your kindness, but helps your kindness not be placed in places that only know how to receive and do not know how to cherish. As it is written, keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it spring the issues of life. Proverbs 4:23. Would you like to partner with God's work? Your donation today supports this ministry in reaching more hearts. Give with faith and watch how the Lord opens doors of blessing and keeps evil far from your home. I do not tell you to guard your heart, because your heart is evil, but because your heart is the place from which life flows. What is precious must be guarded in the light, not left at the mercy of every passing wind. There are connections that enter your life, like the first rain of the season, making you believe that the dry ground within you has finally been watered. But over time, you begin to see something else. That presence does not draw you closer to me. It does not make you more peaceful. It does not make you freer. It causes you to wait in anxiety, to hope in weariness, to give while lacking certainty, and to wonder why what once made you joyful has begun to weigh heavily upon your heart. When that happens, do not be quick to blame yourself for having loved wrongly. Allow me to teach you how to see rightly. Not everything that once moved you was appointed to remain. Not everyone who once entered your life was sent to walk with you for the long journey. There are people who only pass through to reveal a lesson to you. There are relationships that are only permitted to exist for a season. And there are doors I close, not because I am taking something from you, but because I am saving you from what you cannot yet fully see. Remember Abraham and Lot. Beloved, for a time they walked the same journey, left the familiar together, and stepped into the promise together. But then the land could no longer sustain both groups. Tension began to arise between their herdsmen, and Abraham had to let Lot choose his own path. On the surface, it seemed like a sorrowful separation, but in my deeper purpose, it was an arrangement so that Abraham could hear more clearly the word I had reserved for him. After Lot had separated from him, I spoke to Abraham, saying, "Lift your eyes now and look from the place where you are northward, southward, eastward, and westward." Genesis 13:14. Do you see, my child? There are promises that are only revealed after an attachment no longer continues. Every seed you sow in faith is never wasted. Support this message so more people can learn to discern God's voice and walk in His protection. May the Lord multiply your giving and surround your loved ones with divine safety. There are visions that only open when you stop clinging to what no longer fits the path I have appointed. Departure is not always loss. Sometimes it is a holy space where I set before your eyes a wider horizon. Therefore, do not grieve too long when you realize that a connection cannot go any farther. Cry if you need to cry, but do not call my protection abandonment. Be sorrowful if your heart is still tender, but do not let sorrow persuade you to return to the place from which I have brought you out. I know you once thought that if you tried a little more, waited a little longer, sacrificed a little deeper, everything would become right. But beloved, true love does not require you to lose your peace in order to prove your loyalty. What comes from me will not force you to continually make yourself smaller, doubt yourself, or remain silent before the things that make your soul uneasy. The peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds. Philippians 4:7. And that peace is a profound witness. When I am in something, you may face trials, but your soul will not be torn away from me. You may need patience, but you will not be drained to the point that you forget who you are in me. I am teaching you a very holy distinction. Emotions may move you, but they must not rule over you. Attraction may draw your attention, but it must not lead the way in my place. Compassion may make you want to stay, but it must not turn you into someone who carries what I have not assigned to you. You are not called to chase after every door left slightly open, every tender gaze, every word that softens your heart. You are called to follow what I confirm. As it is written, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge Him, and He shall direct your paths. Proverbs 3:5-6. My confirmation does not always come through a great sign. Sometimes it comes through deep peace, through clarity within your heart, through a quietness that does not need to be forced, through the sense that you do not have to strain yourself to hold on to that thing. Beloved child, what I am preparing for you will not make you bargain with your dignity. What I give will not require you to lay your peace upon the altar of the fear of loss. What truly belongs to your season will not pull you away from my presence, will not make your prayers feel foreign to you, and will not cause you to walk in darkness while calling it love. True love will bring you closer to me again. It will make you desire to live more uprightly, more tenderly, more honestly, more purely. It will not make you leave the light in order to protect an exhausting secret. God is light, and in Him is no darkness at all. 1 John 1:5. So anything that belongs to me will not need darkness in order to survive. From now on, when your heart is stirred, bring that stirring before me. When you miss someone, let that longing pass through my light. When you want to keep a connection, ask me where it is leading you. Do not be afraid of my answer, because I never lead you out of what is good, only to throw you into emptiness. If I tell you to let go, it is because your hands need to be free to receive something purer. If I cause a relationship to weaken, it is because I am loosening a cord that could bind your steps later on. If I allow a truth to be revealed, it is because I love you too much to let you live inside an illusion decorated with sweet words. And when you learn to discern between the voice of emotion and the voice of the Father, you will no longer be pulled away as you once were. You will still love, but you will love in the light. You will still hope, but you will hope with watchfulness. You will still open your heart, but you will not entrust your soul to places I have not anointed. Your steps will become slower, but surer, softer, but stronger, quieter, but filled with greater authority. I will place within you a deep steadfastness, not because you know everything that will happen, but because you know who is leading you. Go in peace, my beloved child. Your shepherd does not lose his way. And when you recognize my voice, no counterfeit call will have enough authority to draw you far from the pasture I have prepared for your soul. My beloved child, I have heard the questions you hide in the darkness, the sighs you never turn into words, the times you have looked upward through tears and wondered why your heart must keep passing through encounters that make it hope and then hurt again. I know there have been nights when you asked me, Father, why do I give my heart sincerely and receive disappointment in return? Why does someone enter my life like a promise, then leave like a wound? Today, I do not come to you with rebuke, nor do I place upon you the burden of blaming yourself. I come with light. I want you to understand that what you have gone through is not evidence that you lack value, nor is it a sign that you do not know how to love. It is a deeper classroom of the soul where I am teaching you not only to observe outward actions, but to recognize the inner current of every connection. For if you only look at a smile, at words, at shared emotions, or at a few tender moments, you may easily step back into old cycles. But when I open your eyes to see the roots, you will no longer be bound by what once deceived you. As it is written, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. John 8:32. Truth does not come to make you bitter. Truth comes to loosen the chains from the places where your heart was tied, without realizing it. My child, there are people who approach without bearing the appearance of danger. They do not come with the noise of destruction. They do not appear as obvious enemies, and they do not speak words that immediately make you cautious. On the contrary, they may come with gentleness, with a kind of empathy that seems very deep, with words that sound as though they understand you more than anyone else. But beloved, not every form of understanding comes from holy love. There is a kind of understanding that is used only to open a door into your vulnerable places, and from there, gradually draw away your focus, disrupt the rhythm of your prayers, and cause you to be more occupied with a person than with listening to me. I do not say this so that you will fear people, but so that you will remain awake in the light. For there are presences that do not push you away from me in a single day, but pull you off course little by little. Today, you pray a little less. Tomorrow, you lose a little more peace. And then you begin to doubt my voice, doubt your worth, and doubt the path on which I have led you. The most dangerous deviation often does not begin with a great fall, but with very small compromises that you think are harmless. Therefore, I am calling you back to the center. That center is not a person, an emotion, a promise, or a connection that makes you feel needed. That center is me. When I am the center, you can love without losing yourself, listen without being controlled, and show compassion without placing your soul into another person's hands. When I am the center, you will be able to distinguish what is true support from what is dependence dressed in the garments of care. Guidance that comes from me will not make you blurry within yourself. It will make you clearer. It will not make you continually revolve around another person's emotions. It will bring you back to the deep peace where I dwell. As it is written, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. Proverbs 3:5-6. You are not called to decode every motive by yourself, but to bring everything before me, so that my light may test what your eyes cannot yet see. Remember the story of Joshua and the Gibeonites. Beloved, when the Gibeonites came to Israel, they did not come with swords and spears, but with old garments, dry bread, and torn wineskins, pretending that they had come from a very distant land. They used a weary appearance to create trust and a story that seemed reasonable to soften the hearts of the people. And Scripture records that the people of Israel took some of their provisions, but they did not ask counsel of the Lord. Joshua 9:14. Do you see, my child? Not every deception comes in a frightening form. There are counterfeit things that come appearing as though they need mercy, need trust, and need an open door. The lesson here is not that you must be suspicious of everyone, but that you must not neglect to ask me. Mercy without discernment can become an entrance for bondage. Compassion that is not placed under my light can cause you to make a covenant with what I never confirmed. I know this touches a very tender place within you because you do not want to become hardened. You fear that if you discern too much, you will lose the purity of love. But I say to you, discernment does not make you less loving. It makes your love holy and clean. You can still be kind without being naive. You can still be gentle without being easily led astray. You can still open your heart without handing the keys of your soul to anyone who knows how to speak the right words at the right time. As it is written, beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits, whether they are of God. 1 John 4:1. I am not telling you to judge through suspicion. I am teaching you to test through the light. What comes from me can endure the light. What is true is not afraid of time, not afraid of prayer, and not afraid of being examined by peace. Beloved child, the enemy often does not use crude hatred to attack a heart that knows how to love. He is more cunning than that. He uses false resonance. The feeling of this person is like me. This person understands me. This person has touched the exact place of my wound. He may set before you someone who can speak the language of your pain, yet carries no medicine from me. He may create a sense of familiarity very quickly, but that familiarity has no foundation in truth. Then from that place, small seeds are sown. A little doubt about my voice, a little uneasiness about your journey, a little comparison, a little dependence, a little need to be affirmed by another person. When those seeds grow, you begin to drift away from the steadiness I have built within you. You no longer ask, Father, what do you want? But begin to ask, what does that person think of me? Will they still stay? What must I do to keep them? When a connection makes you fear losing that person more than you fear losing your peace in me, you must stop and return to the Father. Do not see the departures of others as a verdict on your worth. There are times when I allow someone to leave your life, because if they remained any longer, they would blur the calling I have placed within you. There are times when I allow a door to close, because behind it is not a home, but a room that would cause your soul to forget the light. There are times when I let you see the truth in a painful moment, because I do not want you to spend years healing from a bondage you could have avoided. The Lord shall preserve you from all evil. He shall preserve your soul. Psalm 109:21-7. I keep you not only by giving more, but also by holding certain things back. I protect you not only through what I bring into your life, but also through what I don't allow to remain. From now on, when any hand reaches toward you, look beyond the gesture itself. Ask, does this presence draw me closer to me or farther from me? Does it make me more peaceful or more anxious? Does it awaken goodness within me or pull me back into old cycles? Does it honor the light I have placed in you? Or does it want me to step into a dim place in order to keep it? You do not need to answer every call in haste. You do not need to open the door simply because someone knocks at the exact moment when you feel lonely. You do not need to call urgency destiny, nor call being emotionally stirred confirmation. My voice does not pressure you to lose your peace in order to grasp something in time. My voice leads you with clarity, with order, with holiness, and with a peace that does not need another person's permission in order to exist. Let me teach you to love in freedom. True love does not make you a prisoner of attention. True love does not force you to keep proving that you are worthy of staying. True love does not place you in a state of exhaustion where you are hoping and fearing at the same time, giving and losing yourself at once. What comes from me will not compete with me in your heart. It will not sit upon the throne where only I am meant to dwell. It will not demand that you sacrifice your calling, your peace, your dignity, and your purity in exchange for a few moments of feeling needed. What I give may require patience, but it will not feed you with chaos. What I give may challenge you to mature, but it will not break your soul in silence. So come nearer to me again, my beloved child. Place your connections under my light before you place them inside your heart. Allow me to touch the places within you that once were easily swept away by counterfeit empathy, so that from now on, you will no longer confuse someone who understands your wound with someone I have sent to honor your soul. I am freeing you from invisible cords, from the need to keep everyone from leaving, from the fear that every departure is proof that you are not good enough. You are precious enough to be protected. You are loved enough for me to intervene. You belong to me enough that you do not have to beg for affirmation from anything that pulls you away from me. Stand firm, for truth is opening your eyes. Be at peace, for the Father is guarding your heart. Keep walking, for what belongs to me will not need darkness, dependence, or fear in order to remain in your life. My beloved child, I have heard the silent questions you have not dared to speak aloud. I have seen the nights when you lay still while your heart felt as though it were being torn into pieces, where old memories returned to knock at the door, where you wondered why you could be sincere and still be wounded, why some people seem to come close carrying light only to leave behind a cold emptiness within you. I know you have whispered through tears, "Father, did I love wrongly? Was I too quick to trust? Is my heart weak? And is that why it keeps getting hurt?" But today, I do not come to condemn you, nor do I come to place another burden upon your weary soul. I come to place light into the place you once called confusion. I want you to know that what you have gone through is not evidence that you are of lesser worth, but a sign that I am leading you into a deeper level of discernment. You do not only need to see who stays and who leaves, you need to recognize what is operating behind each connection. For if you only look at outward behavior, you can easily be pulled back into old cycles. But when you allow me to open your eyes to see the roots, you will begin to step into freedom. As it is written, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. John 8:32. That truth does not come to make you bitter, but to loosen from you the invisible cords that have quietly held you back for too long. My child, not every hand extended toward you is a hand I have sent. Not every gentle word carries life. Not every form of empathy is rooted in pure love. There are people who do not enter your life with the appearance of danger, who do not break you through obvious actions, who do not make you realize from the beginning that they are pulling you off course. They come with closeness, with a kind of understanding that seems rare, with words that touch the tender places within you, making you think that at last someone truly understands you. But beloved, understanding that is not placed beneath my light can become a key that opens the most vulnerable places in you. There are presences that do not destroy you in a single day, but quietly take away your focus, little by little. They cause you to become more occupied with someone's reaction, someone's silence, and the effort to keep someone from leaving than with listening to my voice within your heart. And when my voice is pushed far away by the noise of a bond, you begin to lose the peace I have placed within you. Therefore, I am calling you back to the center. Not back to fear. Not back to closing yourself off, but back to me. The center of your life cannot be a person who stirs your heart, nor can it be a connection that makes you feel needed. The center of your life must be my presence, where you are kept steady, whether others come or go, where you hear the Father's voice more clearly than the voice of loneliness, the voice of memory, or the voice of the longing to be loved. As it is written, "Be still, and know that I am God." Psalm 46:10. That stillness is not emptiness. It is the place where your soul is brought back into rhythm. When you are near me, you will recognize the difference between someone who lifts you closer to the light and someone who only wants you to revolve around them. When you abide in me, you will know what kind of connection brings you deeper peace, and what kind of bond causes you to gradually lose yourself. Remember Delilah and Samson, beloved, not so that you will fear love, but so that you will understand the power of lacking discernment. Samson was strong before the lion, strong before his enemies. Yet he became weak before an intimacy that was not illuminated by God. Delilah did not need swords or spears to defeat him. She used closeness, pleading, and emotion to draw the secret of his strength out of the place where it had been entrusted. And when Samson placed what was holy into the hands of someone who did not fear what was holy, his hair was cut, his eyes were put out, and his strength departed from him before he even realized it. Do you see, my child? Not every battle takes place on an open battlefield. There are battles that begin in conversations that seem harmless, in familiarities I have not confirmed, in moments when you reveal too much of your soul to someone who has not been permitted to guard it. Therefore, I speak to you in love. Do not place what is holy within you into hands that have not been tested in the light. I do not say this to make you suspicious of everyone, nor do I want you to live in a dry posture of defense. I am not calling you to become a closed, cold soul who no longer trusts anyone. No, beloved, I am teaching you to love with wisdom. If the Lord has spoken to you through this word, respond with a generous heart. Your donation helps bring clarity and peace to many. As you give, may God's favor rest upon you and shield your family from every storm. There is a love that is both tender and boundaried, both kind and watchful, both generous and willing to ask me before opening the door. As it is written, beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits, whether they are of God. 1 John 4:1. This is not an invitation to suspicion, but an invitation to discernment. What comes from me will not fear being tested. What is true will not become angry when you need time. What is pure will not demand that you step into a dim place, hide your prayers, or exchange your peace in order to keep it. What belongs to me may challenge you to mature, but it will not pull you away from me. You must understand deeply that the enemy rarely approaches your heart through obvious hatred. He knows you will not easily open the door to what is harsh and brutal. Therefore, he often clothes deception in the garment of empathy. He brings people who seem similar to you in pain, similar to you in the way they think, similar to you in the unhealed spaces within them, so that a sense of familiarity forms very quickly. Then, within that familiarity, he sows small seeds. A little doubt about my calling, a little wavering about your worth, a little comparison with others, a little dependence on outward affirmation. At first, everything may seem slight, but if you do not bring it before me, those seeds will grow into vines that wrap themselves around your freedom. Then you no longer walk because I am leading you, but because you fear losing a person. You no longer seek me first, but wait to see how that person will respond. You no longer stand in peace, but are pulled up and down by someone else's attention. Therefore, when someone approaches you in this season, do not only ask, "Do they make me happy?" Ask more deeply. Does this presence bring me closer to me or draw me farther away from me after speaking with them? Is my heart brighter or heavier? Am I encouraged to become purer, freer, and more steadfast? Or do I begin to become more confused, dependent, and anxious? The answer of the soul is often not loud, but it is very real. The peace I give is not a passing emotion. It is a guard standing at the gate of your heart. As it is written, the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds. Philippians 4:7. When peace departs, do not be quick to ignore it. When your heart keeps being stirred without being led into clarity, stop and bring that matter before me. Do not grieve too long when I show you that a connection cannot continue. I know departure can make you sorrowful, especially when you have hoped, prayed, and believed that it was what you had been waiting for. But there are doors I close, not because I want you to be lonely, but because behind those doors are cords that would bind your feet in the future. There are people I do not allow to remain, not because you are unworthy of being loved, but because they cannot preserve what I am building within you. There are separations that feel like wounds in the moment, yet become deliverance for the whole journey. The Lord shall preserve you from all evil. He shall preserve your soul. Psalm 121:7. I guard you not only from what you can see as dangerous, but also from what you once thought was safe. From today onward, I want you to stop calling every departure a failure. Some departures are answers. Some empty spaces are mercy. Some moments when you are not chosen by people are the very moments when I am choosing you again for my purpose. You do not need to hold on to anyone by losing your peace, losing your calling, or losing the purity of your heart. What truly comes from me will not require you to move away from me in order to keep it. True love does not compete with me for the throne of your heart. It honors my place, brings you back to me, causes you to pray more deeply, live more uprightly, and love more fully in the light. If a connection makes you hide me in the background, then it cannot be what I desire to place in the foreground of your life. Walk in peace, my beloved child. I am not taking love away from you. I am purifying love within you. I am not separating you from people. I am freeing you from bonds disguised as familiarity. I do not want you to live in fear, but in holy watchfulness. From now on, let every hand that reaches toward you pass through my light before it touches your heart. Let every sweet word be tested by my peace before you believe it is destiny. Let every form of empathy be placed at my feet before you call it connection. For you are my child, not an object for anyone to hold carelessly. Your soul belongs to me. Your journey rests in my hands, and what I have prepared for you will not need darkness dependence or fear in order to remain. Listen to me. Stay near to me, and you will recognize this when truth opens your eyes. No deception will still have enough authority to lead you away from the bright path the Father has set before you, my beloved child. There are things you think are losses, but in my hands, they are silent preparation. There are people who leave and make your heart feel empty. Connections that fracture and make you feel as though you are being left alone. Doors that close and cause you to wonder whether you are losing something precious. But I speak to you with the tenderness of a father and with the certainty of the one who knows the road ahead. You are not being made smaller. You are being reordered into proper alignment. The season before you is not like the season you have passed through. It cannot carry the old cords, the old dependencies, the connections that disturb your soul and keep you from hearing my voice clearly. If you step into what I have appointed while still carrying what does not belong to that journey, those very things will become a weight upon your shoulders. Noise within your mind, invisible hands pulling you back when I call you forward. Therefore, when I prune, do not be quick to call it punishment. As it is written, every branch that bears fruit, he prunes that it may bear more fruit. John 15:2. Pruning is not a sign that I have abandoned you, but evidence that I see in you a season of greater fruitfulness. My child, what I am doing is not only taking place in your outward circumstances. I am not merely changing the people around you, closing a few pathways, or exposing what had once been hidden. I am training the way you feel, the way you discern, the way you recognize the deeper movements behind words and actions. In the past, you may have simply listened to what someone said and believed the softness of their words. You may have looked at a beautiful gesture and thought it was a sign of safety. But now I am awakening within you a spiritual sensitivity, so that you do not only hear with your ears, you do not only see with your eyes, but learn to recognize the atmosphere operating behind a presence. There are people who come near you, and their words may be sweet, yet afterward, your soul becomes heavy. Your prayers grow weaker, and the light within you seems covered by an unnamed mist. There are also people who do not say much, yet their presence reminds you of me and makes your heart more upright, more peaceful, more pure. Therefore, when peace leaves your heart, do not treat it as a small thing. As it is written, the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus. Philippians 4:7. That peace is the guard I have placed at the gate of your heart. When that guard speaks, you must stop and listen. I know your heart carries kindness. I know you easily sympathize, easily want to help, easily become tender before the pain of others. That is not wrong, beloved, for mercy is part of the beauty I have placed within you. But I must also teach you that a gift, if it is not guarded by wisdom, can become a place where others enter to take advantage. Goodness that is not led by me will leave you exhausted from carrying things I never assigned to you. Mercy without boundaries will turn you into a place where others pour out all their chaos while your own soul slowly runs dry of life. I am not telling you to stop loving. I am not telling you to become cold. I am not telling you to be suspicious of every hand extended toward you. I am only teaching you to love according to the order of the kingdom of heaven. As my only begotten Son has spoken, be wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Matthew 10:16. Innocence keeps you from wickedness, but wisdom keeps you from being led astray. Gentleness makes you resemble me, but discernment helps you not place what is holy into places that do not know how to honor what is holy. Remember Nehemiah, beloved. When I placed it in his heart to rebuild the wall of Jerusalem, that work did not only require labor, it required watchfulness. Sanballat and Geshem repeatedly sent messengers inviting him to come down to the plain of Ono to meet with them. The invitation sounded like dialogue, like reconciliation, like an ordinary meeting. But Nehemiah recognized that what stood behind that invitation was not peace, but a scheme to pull him away from the work I had assigned to him. He answered, "I am doing a great work, so that I cannot come down." Nehemiah 6:3. Do you see, my child? Not every invitation deserves your response. Not every meeting requires your presence. Not every pull is an opportunity. There are voices that only seek to bring you down from the wall I am telling you to build. In the season where I am preparing you, you must learn to say no to what draws you away from your holy assignment, even when it comes in a polite, attractive, or seemingly reasonable form. Therefore, when the things around you begin to crack, do not panic. Do not rush to repair every fracture if I am the one allowing it to be exposed. There are structures that seem stable, but are built on dependence. There are connections that seem close, but survive on anxiety. There are habits that seem harmless, but silently keep you in old cycles. I am shaking things not to destroy you, but so that what is not true may fall away, and what comes from me may remain standing. As it is written, the things which cannot be shaken may remain. Hebrews 12:27. The shaking of this season is purification. It reveals what has roots in me and what only clings to you through emotion habit and the fear of loss. Beloved child, do not try to hold on to what I am removing from your hands. Do not use your own strength to save a connection from which I have withdrawn grace. Do not ask me to restore what I am using through its very breaking to protect you. There are things that, if you keep them through stubbornness, you do not keep a blessing. You only keep a burden. There are paths that appear right reasonable, and like places where your heart will be comforted. Yet in the end, they lead you into weariness and darkness. As it is written, there is a way that seems right to a man, but its end is the way of death. Proverbs 14:12. Therefore, I am calling you to trust my long-range guidance more than your immediate emotions. Your emotions may weep when a door closes, but a soul taught by me will bow its head and say, Father, you see what I don't yet see. You know what I don't yet know. And you love me too much to let me enter a place that would lead me astray. I am bringing you into a more ordered life, not the dry order of mere rules, but the holy order of peace. In that order, you will no longer give your heart simply because you are lonely, no longer open the door simply because you are receiving attention, no longer call chaos passion, no longer call dependence love. You will learn to pause before responding, to ask me before entering, to observe the fruit before placing your trust. Therefore, by their fruits you will know them. Matthew 7:20. So do not only look at the flowers that bloom in the first moment. Look at what that thing produces in your soul over time. Does it produce peace or anxiety, purity or concealment? Nearness to me, or distance from prayer, strength in truth, or weakness through dependence? These questions do not cause you to lose love. They protect love from being mixed with what does not belong to me. Let me prune, beloved. Let me remove from you the cords that seem gentle, yet have been binding your steps. Let me quiet the noise that has kept you from hearing my word clearly. Let me purify the circle around you, so that those whom I have sent may recognize their place. And the things that only came to distract you must leave the position they once occupied. I am not impoverishing your life. I am making it pure. I am not taking love away. I am setting love in its proper order. I am not leaving you in emptiness. I am creating a holy space where what is new can be sown without being choked by old roots. So continue walking with steadfastness, Thank you for allowing God to minister to you today. Consider giving a gift to keep this light shining. May the Lord reward your generosity, grant you holy wisdom, and protect everything precious to you. When something falls away, do not be quick to bend down and pick it up, if I haven't told you to pick it up. When a relationship begins to weaken, do not use fear to force it back to life. When peace warns, you do not ignore it, simply because the outward words still sound pleasant. I am leading you out of confusion and bringing you into a season of fruitfulness. You will not need to trade your peace in order to keep what I give. You will not need to leave the center, which is me, in order to enter what belongs to me. What I am preparing will align with the purity I am building within you, with the calling I have placed upon you, and with the season I am opening before you. Trust me, my beloved child, for the hand that prunes is also the hand that upholds. The one who removes what is unnecessary is also the one preparing you for a season of greater, deeper, brighter fruitfulness, filled with more life in me. My beloved child, among the tangled paths of the world, you will encounter many things that bear the appearance of love. There are words wrapped in gentleness, glances that make you feel seen, gestures of care that soften your heart, and presences that arrive at the very moment of your weakness, making you think they are the place where your soul may finally rest. But I want you to hear this deeply. Not everything soft comes from me, and not everything that moves you carries life. There are garments of love placed over impure intentions. There are hands extended not to lift you up, but to hold you back. There are gentle voices that do not shatter you immediately, but quietly pull you away from the holy center, where I am keeping you in peace. Therefore, I do not only teach you to hear with your ears, see with your eyes, or respond with emotion. I teach you to listen with your soul, discern by the light, and bring everything that touches your heart back before me before you call it love. My child, maturity is not when you no longer trust anyone, but when you know how to place everything under my light before giving your heart. I do not want you to live in bitter suspicion, but neither do I want you to live in a naivety that causes your soul to be wounded again and again. When a word stirs, you do not be quick to drink it in as living water. Bring it beside me and ask, Father, what is the source of this? Does it come from truth or from lack? Does it bring me closer to you, or does it only make me more occupied with a person? As it is written, Beloved, don't believe every spirit, but test the spirits, whether they are of God. 1 John 4:1. The testing is not coldness, nor is it a lack of love. It is the sign of a soul that has been trained, no longer handing over the authority to lead its life to every sound that knows how to call its loneliness by name. Understand this, beloved. True love always opens space for freedom. It does not suffocate your breath. It does not force you to live in the fear of loss. It does not make you shrink your calling in order to fit another person's insecurity. Love that comes from me will not fight for the throne of your heart. It will not want you to place it before my presence, and will not make you choose between peace and attachment. It will lift you to stand upright in the light, remind you that you belong to me before you belong to anyone else, and cause your life to bear purity, courage, gentleness, and steadfastness. As it is written, where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. 2 Corinthians 3:17. Therefore, anything that gradually causes you to lose freedom, lose the voice of prayer, lose peace in your mind, and clarity in your soul, stop and recognize this. That thing does not carry my breath. Remember, beloved, I do not take away what truly belongs to you. I only separate you from what hinders you from receiving the better portion. And as you walk with me, my voice will become a lamp beneath your feet, a light upon your path, and a gentle refuge for the heart that has learned to love in holy wisdom. Amen.